Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So, new spoiler season is not here just yet. Thank goodness. Still have some more time to recover from the last ones. Yeah, that was quite a bit. I believe the actual spoiler season, I think they just announced today, starts the 17th of January and goes for, a week or so or whatnot as it usually does. So we do have some time. That being said, there was a first look or whatever they call it these days. And yeah. There are certain cards that came out today, and I'm going to do my best to break them down with some quick takes. And yeah, here we go. Goodness, a bombshell that absolutely just came out for the first one. Yeah, Elesh Norn is back. I mean, obviously that was, pretty apparent, with all the art, of the set that, Elesh Norn would be there. But this brand new Elesh Norn Praetor, I mean, we've seen all the other Praetors kind of get a redo essentially, right? Over the, past year and a half of sets or whatnot since Kaldheim. I guess nearly 2 years now. But Elesh Norn finally gets her card, and it is brutal. Here we go. So, Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, a 4/7 Phyrexian Praetor with Vigilance that costs 4 and a white. So, last Elesh Norn was, 7 mana? This one's only 5. Let's see what it does. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers additional time. And permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. My goodness, this is, yeah, I mean, basically another Panharmonicon commander, kind of like Yarok, essentially, but also the Phyrexianized kind of, side of things where, basically when a Phyrexian, commander, or actually just kind of Phyrexian legendary creature, I can't talk, Phyrexian Praetor has, one major, a benefit to you and one major downside to an opponent. It's basically two sides of the same coin, and, yeah, that is a huge benefit to you, again, like a Panharmonicon, doubling up all of your triggers. This one, counting every single trigger of any permanent entering the battlefield. Doesn't matter whose permanent it is. If you've got a triggered ability that triggers, off of one of your permanents, it triggers 2 times, not just once. So yeah, double things up, double up an incredible amount of value. Absolutely absurd. And of course, obviously very absurd as well. Perhaps even more absurd, especially in a format like Commander where you've got 3 opponents. Your opponent's permanents don't have ETBs. So yeah, go ahead and try utilizing, your Wood Elves. Cool, it's just a 1/1 elf for 3 mana now. You don't go get that forest. No, you don't get any ETBs. And there are a ton of decks that revolve around ETBs even, and there's just a lot of just generically good ETBs that work in a lot of decks out there. I mean, we'll talk about some cards here in a bit. I'm not going to spoil too much. But yeah, I mean, this commander is absolutely brutal. Again, a ton of value for you, and we're going to talk about all the value that you can have with this, and then also ruining your opponent's value, just decimating your opponent's value. Again, if your opponent has a Brago deck, they're going to hate this. They're going to absolutely hate, they'll love it when it's in their deck, because it's probably going to be in their deck now, doubling up on their ETBs, but they're going to hate going up against it, because yeah, you can just absolutely ruin Blink decks, you can ruin ETB decks, you can ruin Landfall decks, you can ruin a lot of things with this one commander. Yeah, this card, it's going to be one that I'm going to fear seeing on the other side of the table. So Elesh Norn definitely lives up to her name. A massive commander. And yeah, let's talk about some cards that work well with her. Right after we talk about basically, again, Elesh Norn is kind of like a combination, in my opinion, of kind of like 2 cards, essentially. I mean, it's kind of like Yarok, essentially, because it's basically, a new commander that kind of does the same thing, Panharmonicon-esque. So Panharmonicon, again, is an artifact. It says, if an artifact or creature in battlefield, it causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control trigger, that ability triggers initial time. Again, this new Elesh Norn counts all your permanents, does not have to be just an artifact or creature, so it counts lands too. And then Torpor Orb, that's kind of the other side of this commander-ish. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Again, this only counts your opponents, and it counts any of their permanents. So yeah, it's kind of like a combination of these 2 things, but obviously better and on a commander. And also, yeah, 4/7 Vigilance, not bad either. So yeah, for 5 mana, this commander is pretty brutal. And it's just crazy that Elesh Norn seems to just be, the kind of pinnacle of power. And I am seriously forgetting what the red Phyrexian's name is, and I am so sorry, but no one ever plays you, and I feel so bad, again, because you are doing absolutely nothing. It is still escaping me. Comment below on how I'm forgetting this one. Vorinclex keeps popping in my mind. That's obviously green. Red. Skip it. Anyways, keep going. Budget buys. Let's talk about some cards to consider. Ones that I'll be considering if I'm building around this commander. Again, that are less than $1, you know, as I do on my budget deck techs. The first ones that came to my mind were, well, Sun Titan, obviously, a creature that has a massive amount of ETB potential, a 6/6 Vigilant Giant that has when enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, again, kind of just that ETB is already powerful. You get something back for free. Obviously, attacks as well is nice. But yeah, just doubling that up, getting twice as many things back, that's great. And of course, if those things have ETBs, you gain benefits from those too. Or if you have any other triggers, that'll happen as well. I mean, if you just have a Soul Citrus in play, you're going to be getting a ton of amount of life, you know, from all of these creatures coming into play. Karmic Guide. I'm sure there's some broken things that you can do with this. There's got to be some broken things you can do with it. I mean, it's already a broken card as it is. 2/2, flying protection from black, enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Do that twice now. Yeah, this one does have Echo, so basically you're going to be sacrificing the next turn unless you pay that. But yeah, essentially, hey, 5 mana, reanimate 2 creatures. Yeah, that, of course, can be broken pretty easily, I would think. Restoration Angel. Hey, when it enters the battlefield, exile target non-angel creature you control, returns the battlefield under your control. Basically, blink a non-angel. Do that twice now. Again, in a deck that's going to care about ETBs, hey, let's just get 2 creatures, ETBs twice again. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of powerful things that you can do, again, even on a budget. Solemn Simulacrum, Sad Robot itself, of course. Enters the battlefield, go get a basic, get into play tapped. Now you get 2. For 4 mana, you are basically explosive vegetationing. Definitely a verb now. And yeah, when it dies, draw a card. Cool. But yeah, again, if you can blink this, if you can, you know, get back from your graveyard, you can get more and more lands into play and yeah, get way ahead of your opponents. Speaking of which, Knight of the White Orchid enters the battlefield, opponent controls more lands than you may search live for a planescard on the battlefield, then shuffle. So yeah, starting off, your opponents are probably going to have more lands than you, obviously, but then you're going to show that green player really how to ramp because you're going to be like, let's just get this in play. Oh, you got more lands than me? Cool, I'll get 2. Maybe I'll blink it if you still got more lands than me, I'll get more. Yeah, we're going to have some fun with landfall triggers with a commander like this. You really can. Feldar Retreat. Whenever a land enters battlefield to control, choose 1. Create 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or get a counter on each creature you control. They get vigilance on a turn. How about both? I mean, or how about, you know, 2 of 1, essentially, if you really want to. So, yeah, you get a single land into play. You are getting 2 2/2s, and that's just from 1 land. Let's say it's an Evolving Wilds. Let's crack it. Let's go get another land. That's going to be 2 more. So for 1 land that we just played with that Evolving Wilds, and we cracked it, and we got another one, that's going to be 8 total power across 4 bodies. Thank you, Elesh Norn. Gross. Anyways, next up, Mentor of the Meek. Whenever another creature in the battlefield, whenever a creature power 2 or less enters the battlefield under control, you may pay 1 if you do draw a card. You're getting this trigger twice now with any of your tiny creatures coming into play. Again, there are plenty of ways to make tokens in white. Plenty of ways to get a lot of value out of this. Again, when any tiny creature comes into play, just pay 1. Twice if you want, again, and draw some cards, dig down into your deck. Rumor Gatherer, whenever the creature is battlefield under control, scry 1. Second ability to resolve this turn, draw a card instead. You're going to be scrying a ton and drawing a ton of cards with this, again, doubling up. Also, think about some specific things, again, you know, like Archon of Sun's Grace. This one cares about enchantments entering the battlefield. If you're going to be utilizing a lot of enchantments as well, sure, there's a lot of powerful enchantments out there. There's some great ETBs. Whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under control, create 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. So yeah, if you're going to lean in that direction, make sure you're considering something like this. Next up, I mean, how about removal? Duplicant exiles a creature. You know, so now you get to exile 2 creatures. Have fun with that. Meteor Golem destroys a non-land permanent. Now you get 2 of those for, again, 7 mana. And of course, obviously, again, in white, there's plenty of ways, you know, blink, like a Cloud Shift, you know, Eerie Interlude, those kinds of cards. You're going to be getting an absurd amount of value thanks to this commander. And then, of course, Spine of Ishtar. Again, this commander cares about any permanent coming into play. It does not have to be a creature. So, yeah, Spine of Ishtar. Have fun destroying any permanent. And if it's dealt with, it goes back to your hand, so you can have it, you know, have fun, do it again. Now, though, let's move on to some pricier picks. And actually, kind of ironically, first up, we have, well, Panharmonicon. Because, yeah, what's not to love about Panharmonicon in a deck about, you know, doubling up triggers? Let's double up triggers more. So, yeah, Panharmonicon, artifact, or a creature in his battlefield causes ability to trigger, or a permanent you control to trigger. That ability triggers initial time. Yeah. Doubling up triggers, doubling them again. Gross. Yeah, the Praetors are gross. This one is gross. Cathar's Crusade. Whenever a creature is battlefield you control, get a counter on each creature you control. Now you're getting 2 counters on all your creatures. And again, of course, you're going to have plenty of ways to blink creatures. So your creatures can get absolutely massive in absolutely no time. You're going to have an army in no time. I mean, just think about this plus Feldar Retreat plus an Evolving Wilds. Oh gosh, just a disgusting army out of nowhere. Gross. I can't say gross enough. Ranger Captain of Eos. When it enters the battlefield, may search life for a creature card. Convert mana cost 1 or less. Reveal it. Put your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice. Opponent can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Yeah, have fun going getting 2 of those creatures. Recruit to the guard. Same thing. Enters the battlefield. Search life for a creature card with toughness 2 or less. Reveal, put your hand, then shuffle your library. Have fun getting 2 of those. Again, there's a lot of really effective low-to-the-ground creatures with some great ETBs or great triggers. Welcoming Vampire. Whenever 1 or more creatures with power 2 or less into the battlefield under control, draw a card. Triggers only once each turn. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to get a lot of value out of something like this with a deck that cares about blinking, regardless if there is that limitation. Next up, I mean, you can also lean more heavily into like hate bear type effects because, yeah, Elesh Norn already hates on your opponents by basically being a torpor orb for them, so I mean, better than a torpor orb because it counts any permanents, but yeah, you can lean even heavier into that and just kind of shut down your opponents with a lot of things through the consoles. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield and opponents control, you gain 1 life. That's great. On top of that, creature opponent control into the battlefield tapped. That can really slow them down. Archon of Emeria. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. That can really slow people down. Non-basic land, your opponents control into the battlefield tapped. Slowing them down further, Thalia Heretic Cathar. Creatures that non-basic land, your opponents into the battlefield tapped. Basically a combination of the two. So yeah, there's a lot of brutal things that you can do with this commander. This commander is one that I think a lot of players out there are going to be excited about. I think this is one of the most powerful mono-white commanders that has ever been made. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to going up against this one, especially, again, if I have, one of those strategies that really depends on, ETBs. If you've got a Yarok deck, this is just the absolute last commander you want to play against because your entire deck is essentially probably shut down. Again, Blink decks, Brago decks, they're going to love having it, hate playing against it. Landfall decks, same thing. Yeah, I mean, just imagine, again, having like an acidic slime is your only way, in your hand that you can deal with Elesh Norn, but you actually can't utilize that deal with Elesh Norn because, or not Elesh Norn, but something on your opponent's side. Let's just say an enchantment artifact. I'm flustered right now. But yeah, your ETBs get shut down, so your removal gets shut down then if you're, again, depending on those acidic slime type cards. I am blanking on any card, like a Plague Crafter, I guess, that could deal with Elesh Norn on an ETB or something like that, or, actually Duplicant as well on the opponent's side. But yeah, plenty of things that your opponents would like to be able to, deal with your stuff, but unfortunately, if they are ETBs, those are shut down. They cannot do those. A lot of exciting things to do with this commander, a lot of brutal things to do with it. I think a lot of players are going to be excited about it, and I think it's going to be probably pretty expensive. So yeah, now it's my turn to hear from you though. Let me know what your thoughts are on this brand new exciting commander in the comments below. And of course, stay tuned to this channel for more exciting quick takes and spoilers coming out. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.